What's up, guys? Welcome back to Let's Play Basara 2 Heroes! We're moving on to the next Azai stage, which is going to be Xavi's castle again, but quickly there's a cutscene here at the beginning that shows that Oichi is under the... she's a hostage of Oda Nobunaga, essentially, and Akachi Mitsuhide is here to insinuate his snake-like persuasion and hopefully get some kind of reaction out of Oichi, although she's going to be stoic and stubborn as ever, and he won't get whatever he wants out of her, of course. It's interesting to note in the cutscenes, I haven't really commented on the cutscenes that much throughout this LP because they're obviously all in Japanese and you can't understand what they're saying without subtitles. But, assuming you are an English-speaking viewer. But, there's also no, dub lip-syncing either. That was not done until Basara 3, which we'll be seeing soon, which is going to be that much more awkward when we get to Basara 3, and we have the Japanese lip-syncing, and the lines are spoken in English. But, can't be half as awkward as the characters not moving their lips at all, so it should be okay. In the pre-rendered cutscenes, obviously, you do have the lip syncing and everything, but even then it's still going to be Japanese. The cutscenes are animated in Japanese and then dubbed over in English. It's interesting to note that pretty much all Japanese games have this, where if they animate lip movement, then it tends to be for the Japanese spoken syllables and not the English spoken syllables. But certain games will actually reanimate certain key cutscenes to match the English dub lip flap. Like Kingdom Hearts does this quite a bit. Like Kingdom Hearts 1, there's normal cutscenes where there's like a generic flap, 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 lip flap, and then you'll see where the characters are actually using facial expressions, and those facial expressions actually do match the English syllables. And Kingdom Hearts 2 increased the quality of that exponentially over the previous game. And those are the only true Kingdom Hearts games. And now that I've dropped that bombshell, let's move on with the LP. Yeah, that's kind of my rant about Kingdom Hearts. I absolutely love the second game, but it's honestly the only game in the series that I will replay or play, period, at this point. Like, I'm just not interested in the other ones. Although I do own Birth by Sleep on the PSP, and I'll eventually play that, but I haven't even gotten the HD collections because I'm just so cynical about the series now. But anyway, this is not about Kingdom Hearts, this is about Basara 2 Heroes. So I was talking a little bit about Azai in terms of the Basara storyline in the previous video. In this video I'm going to talk about him a little bit in gameplay and then in actual history. So in terms of gameplay, Azai is pretty quick. I wouldn't say he's probably my least favorite out of the three heroes for this to play as. But that does not by any means mean he plays bad. He plays very, very well. And he is a sword user, obviously. He's actually more of a traditional, almost knight-type sword wielder as opposed to a samurai, because his blade does not have any curvature to it. It's just a straight-edge blade. And then he has a buckler as well, which is typically a very Western thing. You don't see bucklers typically on Eastern soldiers and samurai, those types of things. Correct me if I'm wrong, but obviously Azai's armor does have a lot of Asian aesthetic to it, the way the plates form and everything, and how he holds his scabbard on his side, like so. Basically, all of his visual aesthetic is Asian, but the one-handed sword and buckler thing is very Western. Now, again, always showing off his alternate outfits a little bit later on, but he's also a Jedi, as you can see by him swinging around his lightsaber. Yes, Azai is Light Elemental. That is his Basara attack there, where he turns his sword into a lightsaber, slashes around a little bit, and then releases this giant cross of light, Evangelion style, and allows it to destroy the enemies in front of him. So, speaking of Evangelion, speaking of this stage, the Xavi stage, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier on in the LP or not, but I actually submitted a panel to Anime Week in Atlanta this year about what the subject matter of the panel was going to be how religion is portrayed in anime, particularly Christianity and Catholicism, to be more specific, how that's portrayed in anime. Because whenever it's portrayed in anime, it's usually just for exoticism, as a spectacle, and not for to actually tell a story or any kind of morally meaningful stories. So it's basically just, I'm not going to try to make a commentary on religious beliefs or morality or anything like that. I'm actually an atheist. But it's basically just an excuse to be like, hey, let me show you a clip of this crazy shit. And then that's what we do during the panel. I get to show pretty much everything and anything and everything having to do with Shiro Amakusa, including Ninja Resurrection. But it also lets me talk about Basara and talk about Xavi, because Xavi, obviously, like I've said a million times before when we've gone to his stage, this is like maybe the 6th or 7th time across all the Basara LPs I've done that we've fought Xavi, is that Xavi is was St. Francis Xavier, obviously, in history, and that he was prolific in introducing Christianity into Japan. But so how Basara interprets this is to have him this cult radical with a bunch of super zealous followers. As you can see, all these people that dress identical and have the same like bowl cut hair with the bald, like the cue ball haircut, essentially. And so again, the Xaviists, as they're called, are portrayed as a mad cult essentially. And it's almost comical. I mean, Basara tends to do things so over the top and exaggerated that they are comical. But yeah, that's how Xavi is portrayed in this series. Even though he's essentially just a one-shot character that gets killed off screen by Nobunaga in the anime, in the game he does have quite a bit more impact, as you can see, because we fight him so many times. So we have a couple different secondary abilities for Azai in this fight. We have the one where he can charge up his cross like so, like we've demonstrated. I'm using the Fury Drive right now, and he has a dashing forward attack very similar to Kojiro's, as we saw. And I really do like both of these abilities. They're pretty fluent. They look really awesome. The animations are so cool. I love when he strikes a sword in the air like that. It's another like Super Sentai Power Rangers pose. But yeah, it's awesome, and I'm really looking forward to showing off his optimal setup, because it's pretty good stuff. I think I covered in the previous video pretty much the extent of Azai's role in the anime, but we'll talk about his role in history as well. So in real history, again, it was very much similar, where you know, Oichi was married off to him, and then he was killed again by, I want to say he was killed by one of Nobunaga's followers, and Oichi was then married off to somebody else. Azai had children who were also killed by Nobunaga's forces. I think he had like one child that survived or something like that, but he had like a son and a daughter, I believe, and I don't think they survived. So kind of a tragic story. Look at how tsundere he is. Well, you guys signed up for this, and by you guys I mean the fans. Definitely not Oichi. She didn't sign up for this.